High FM, 101.9 megahertz of life.
Just a moment, we'll be chatting. We'll be speaking to Lieutenant Colonel Maurice Hirsch. He's from the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs. He's also the former Director of Military Prosecution for Judea and Samaria. And we wanted to talk to him about the visit, Bibi Netanyahu's visit to Washington, because obviously it has some real significance. I also see other news is that the IRGC has targeted U.S. forces in Jordan as Iran rejects Omani's plan to divide the Strait of Hormuz between them. Missile attacks is the first by the Islamic Republic since Trump paused the strikes over the weekend. US and Saudis have hit back at Iran. So something is definitely going on. Netanyahu says meeting with Trump was one of the best ever. The White House says it was productive and positive. What does all of this mean? What is Netanyahu really doing there? Considering that Trump himself says we don't need Israel's information on Iran's nuclear development. Joining us is Lieutenant Colonel Maurice Hirsch. A very good morning. Thank you for joining us. I hope you are well.
Good morning, Howard. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and happy Tu B'Av to you.
And to everyone, really. It's an incredible day in the Jewish calendar. It's something which brings about something which we don't normally see. Just a day of enjoyment and festivities with tremendous traditions.
It really is, and I think it's incredible because if I guess I was saying earlier that if Tisha B'Av reminds us of what we've lost, Tu B'Av reminds us of what we're capable of rebuilding. It's really the day that says we will dance again. So it really is something. It really is something very, very positive and important. Let's talk about the visit in the Bibi's visit, Netanyahu's visit to Washington. What do we know?
So we know that this wasn't an easy meeting to arrange. We know that Trump expected Netanyahu to come and bring something to the table that he apparently hadn't brought before. And this is something which I think we're seeing as a developing situation, and what it appears to be the extra mile was going somewhere in the direction of Gaza, of implementing the international stabilization force, and on that front, everything was quiet. I don't think we can assume that meetings with Netanyahu and Trump these days will deal with anything other than Iran. I think that is probably a critical part of any of the discussions. And it's something which obviously Netanyahu and Trump have an interesting. I think it was probably interesting to see the follow-up of the reports of the meetings showing that there's no real differences of opinion between the two leaders, even if there are sometimes all types of intrigues and other
the line is just not playing very, very well. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, yeah, that is a little bit better. I mean, obviously, we will never know what the real agenda is here. Is there an understanding or a belief, rather, that there is more to this meeting than we are being told?
So clearly the answer is yes. And sometimes you can look at outside events and see how they influence and how you're perceiving one event. Yesterday, there was an almost banal message put out by the US, really military industry, saying that they'd completed all of the preparations for the B-16-13, which is a really a critical element for a thermonuclear weapon designed to be a bunker buster. And when you put that together with the developments of the Pixade and the new nuclear site and the development of what appears to be the continuing development of Iran's nuclear program, you realize that I think you can understand that the meeting discussed Iran heavily, how to move forward, how to neutralize the Straits of Hormuz quandary, and yet at the same time ensure that the most effective assault on Iran is carried out in a timely manner for both leaders going towards elections, and it's something which is a critical, I think, consideration for them, and that I think is the importance of the coordination, of the face-to-face coordination that we saw yesterday.
How long is Netanyahu still there for, or does he leave virtually immediately?
So I think he stayed yesterday for the
funeral.
Yesterday for the funeral of Lindsey Graham, but I don't think he's staying much longer in America. I think there are very clear and burning issues that have to be dealt with here in Israel, and so I don't think he'll be spending much time in the States at all.
Any idea of, I was certainly looking at the body language, J.D. Vance not as comfortable as Netanyahu and Trump. Any sense of his involvement here and his attitude towards this?
Well, so I think J.D. Vance is in a very unique and almost embarrassing position. He put a lot of his political capital into the deal with Iran, which is proving to be an absolute disaster that President Trump is saying that they never accepted, that they never respected, and suddenly he's in a very awkward position, and I don't think that he's in any way, as it were, happy with that. I don't think it's a position that he wanted to be in, and so he is not unsurprisingly very uncomfortable in this whole situation, and that's something I think which is very clear from all of the circumstances.
That is where we do need to leave it. Lieutenant Colonel Maurice Hirsch from the Jerusalem Center for Security and Foreign Affairs, talking to us about Netanyahu's visit to Washington.